In a world torn apart by war, where faith was used as a weapon and battlefields were soaked in blood, one name rose from the chaos, a beacon of hope and honor. This is the story of a leader whose legacy transcends time, a warrior whose greatest weapon was not his sword, but his mercy. This is the story of Salahuddin Ayyubi. The 12th century was a brutal era. The Crusades had ignited a fire of hatred across the Holy Land, turning sacred ground into a theater of endless conflict. Amidst this turmoil, in the city of Tikrit, a child was born in 1137 who would one day change the course of history. Growing up, Salahuddin was not like other boys destined for power. He was quiet, studious, and deeply devoted to his faith. He was raised on stories of courage, but also on the timeless values of humility, compassion, and justice. While others craved wealth and glory, Salahuddin's heart yearned for something greater: to unite his people, defend his faith with honor, and restore peace to a fractured world. His journey began not with a crown, but with a promise. When the Crusaders captured Jerusalem, 12th century, the world was burning with born in Tikrit. In 1137, Salahuddin grew up surrounded by tales of courage and devotion. From a young age, he was taught the values of faith, humility, and compassion. Unlike other rulers who sought glory and power, Salahuddin's heart was filled with a desire to serve his people and defend Islam with honor. When the Crusaders occupied Jerusalem, Salahuddin vowed to restore peace and dignity to the holy city. But his path was not one of blind revenge. It was guided by wisdom and patience. He united the divided Muslim lands, earning the trust of soldiers and scholars alike. His leadership inspired everyone, from warriors to ordinary citizens, because they knew he fought not for himself, but for justice. The battle for Jerusalem in 1187 became one of the most defining moments in history. The world expected a storm of vengeance, for the Crusaders had committed great atrocities when they captured the city decades earlier. But when Salahuddin entered Jerusalem, the world witnessed something extraordinary. There was no massacre, no destruction, no revenge. Instead, Salahuddin ordered his army to protect the innocent, to safeguard churches, and to respect those who worship differently. He allowed the Christian citizens to leave safely and even provided money and transport for the poor who couldn't afford to return home. His mercy stunned the world. Even his enemies, the Crusader knights, spoke of him with respect. One Crusader chronicler wrote, "The Christians could find no fault in him, except that he was a Muslim." Salahuddin's greatness did not lie in the number of battles he won, but in the way he treated those who opposed him. He proved that true strength lies in forgiveness, and that a ruler's power is complete only when tempered with justice. He ruled not through fear, but through compassion. He rebuilt schools, hospitals, and mosques, ensuring that Jerusalem became once again a city of knowledge and peace. His character reflected the very essence of Islam: mercy, honor, and humanity. When Salahuddin passed away in 1193, the world mourned. The man who had commanded vast armies died with barely enough wealth to cover his burial. He had given everything to his people and his faith. To this day, Salahuddin Ayyubi remains a timeless symbol of chivalry, leadership, and mercy. His life reminds us that victory is not achieved through hatred, but through justice, faith, and compassion. The Muslim world was shattered and divided. It was then that Salahuddin stepped forward, not as a conqueror, but as a unifier. He understood that before he could face an external enemy, he had to heal the divisions within. With incredible patience and wisdom, he traveled from city to city, not demanding loyalty, but earning it. He spoke with emirs, scholars, and common soldiers, inspiring them with his vision of a united front built on trust and a shared purpose. He showed them that he was not fighting for personal power, but for a cause greater than any single man. His integrity was his greatest asset. Soldiers followed him not out of fear, but out of genuine respect and love. They saw a leader who prayed with them, ate with them, and shared their hardships. This wasn't just an army. It was a brotherhood, forged by a man who led from the heart. The stage was set for one of history's most pivotal moments: the battle for Jerusalem in 1187. After decades of Crusader rule, the city was a symbol of deep pain and loss for the Muslim world. Everyone, both friend and foe, expected a bloodbath. They remembered the horrific massacre that occurred when the Crusaders first took the city, and they braced for a storm of vengeance. The world held its breath as Salahuddin's forces surrounded the holy city. After a short siege, Jerusalem surrendered. The gates opened and Salahuddin rode in. But what happened next was not the brutal revenge everyone anticipated. It was an act of mercy that would echo through the centuries. Instead of slaughter, there was order. Instead of destruction, there was protection. Salahuddin issued a strict command to his army. No harm was to come to any civilian. Churches were to be safeguarded, and the sanctity of every place of worship was to be respected. He declared that the Christian citizens were free to leave the city in peace. But he didn't stop there. He saw that many were too poor to afford the ransom or the journey home. So Salahuddin, along with his brother, used their own personnel wealth to pay for the freedom of thousands. He arranged for their safe passage and even provided them with transport. This act of profound compassion stunned the world. The very enemies who had fought him on the battlefield were now recipients of his incredible generosity. His actions were so noble that even the Crusader chroniclers, his sworn adversaries, could not help but write of him with awe. One famously wrote, "The Christians could find no fault in him except that he was a Muslim." In an age of brutality, Salahuddin chose humanity. His greatness was not measured by the cities he conquered, but by the principles he upheld. He demonstrated to the world that true strength is not found in dominance, but in forgiveness. A ruler's power, he believed, is only complete when it is tempered with justice and mercy. After securing Jerusalem, he didn't rest on his laurels. He immediately began the work of rebuilding. He repaired the city's infrastructure, established schools to promote knowledge, and built hospitals that served everyone, regardless of their faith or background. He transformed Jerusalem back into a thriving center of learning, culture, and peace, a city where all were welcome. His reign was not about imposing his will through fear. It was about nurturing a society through compassion and service. His character embodied the true essence of his faith, honor, mercy, and a profound respect for all humanity. Even in victory, Salahuddin remained humble. He continued to live a simple life, shunning the luxuries that came with his position. When he passed away in 1193, the entire region, Christians and Muslims alike, mourned his loss. The man who had commanded vast armies and ruled over a great empire died with almost no personal wealth to his name. An inventory of his possessions revealed just a few gold pieces, not even enough to cover the cost of his own burial. He had given everything he had to his people, to his cause, and to his faith. He had lived and died as a servant of God and humanity. Today, the name Salahuddin Ayyubi remains a timeless symbol of chivalry, wise leadership, and extraordinary mercy. His story is a powerful reminder that history is not just shaped by battles and conquests, but by the character of those who lead. He taught us that victory without justice is hollow, and that power without compassion is meaningless. His life is a testament to the enduring idea that true greatness is achieved not through hatred and revenge, but through justice, forgiveness, and an unwavering commitment to our shared humanity. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more tales of incredible figures from history. We'll see you in the next one.